Combat Rogue is one of the best and most fun specs in Ascension. If built correctly, in today's video, I'm going to show you how to crank out big damage in both dungeons and raids. First, I'm going to go over talents. There are two choices, the Killing Spree and No Killing Spree build. I prefer the No Killing Spree build, because fitting Killing Spree in feels clunky and can hurt your uptime on Blade Flurry. For the first row of talents, we go with Improved Sinister Strike to reduce the cost of Sinister Strike by 5 energy. We hit Sinister Strike a lot, so saving the energy leads to more damage and building combo points faster. We also take 5 points in Dual Wield Specialization, increasing our offhand damage by 50%. With our high attack speed and fast offhand weapon, it leads to a lot more melee damage. The next row, we take 5 points in Precision, increasing our hit chance with our weapons and poisons. We also take Improved Slice and Dice for the increased Slice and Dice duration, which is nice for spending less combo points on Slice and Dice and more on Eviscerates. Next is Endurance for reduced cooldown on Sprint and Evasion, both great utility abilities. Being up more often is always a good thing in raid or dungeon environments, and the extra 4% stamina is a great bonus too. And then we move into Lightning Reflexes for the 10% melee haste, and then Aggression for 15% damage on our main builders and spenders. For the next row, we move into Blade Flurry, which is one of our most important abilities. Keeping Blade Flurry up is key to our damage, and on the same row, we take Hack and Slash for extra attacks while wielding swords or axes. And moving on to the next row, we go Weapon Expertise to help us get to our expertise cap, and then Blade Twisting for the extra Sinister Strike damage. Then we move on to Vitality for increased energy regeneration, because more energy equals more damage. And then another big cooldown for us, Adrenaline Rush, which gives us 100% increased energy regen for 15 seconds, which makes for really nice burst windows for us, and due to the MEs we take, we get a lot of uptime on it. And on this row, I also take Nerves of Steel. I put 1 point in it because having decreased damage while being stunned or feared is really useful because of how many stuns and fears there are currently in raids. Next, we go down to Combat Potency for a chance on offhand hits to generate energy. Because of our fast attack speed and offhand, it gives us a nice amount of energy and smooths out gameplay in my opinion. Then we go down to Surprise Attacks, which makes it so our finishers can't be dodged and increases the damage of all our combo point generators by 10%. Then it's on to Savage Combat, which gives us 4% attack power against enemies we have poisoned. And since we always have poisons on our weapons and some of the MEs we run increases our chance to poison, we have almost 100% uptime on that extra AP. And for our final points in the combat tree, we take Prey on the Weak for increased critical damage against all enemies who have less HP than us, which is great because combat rogues like having crit. For our final 3 points, we move to the Assassination tree, and we put them into Improved Eviscerate, which gives our Eviscerate 20% more damage. And for anyone who really wants to play a full combat build or loves Killing Spree, you would remove 3 points from Improved Eviscerate and put them into Unfair Advantage and Killing Spree. For the next part, I'm going to be going over Mystic Enchants for this build. For the Legendary Enchant, we go with Sinister Flurry. The extra combo points and energy leads us to have more damage and more uptime on our biggest buffs. For our Epic Enchants, we run Adrenaline Junkie, where our finishing moves have a chance per combo point to lower the cooldown on Adrenaline Rush and removes it from the global cooldown, which synergizes well with the rest of our enchants, leading to a very high uptime of Adrenaline Rush during encounters. The next epic enchant is Dispatch, which is another finishing move to use along with Eviscerate, and also gives us some Execute. The key reason we take this is because it counts towards our CDR for Blade Flurry and Adrenaline Rush without spending the combo points, and allows us to double dip on cooldown reduction by using Dispatch before we Eviscerate. The final epic enchant that we use is Blade Vortex. This enchant is where we get our Blade Flurry CDR from, and also spawns a Blade Vortex at a very high rate off of both Eviscerate and Dispatch, leading to extra damage and also extends our Blade Flurry. For our rare enchants, we run Relentless Strikes to get more energy regen. More energy means more damage. The next one we run is Ruthlessness. That gives us a chance to refund a combo point on using a finisher, which saves us energy on builders. Energy and combo points is our damage. The more we have, the better. The next enchant we run is Malice, which gives us 5% crit. Crit is one of our best stats, so 5% flat crit is great. The next is Improved Poisons, which gives us more application of our poison, making them do more damage. After that, we run Vile Poisons, which increases the damage of our poisons by 20%, which synergizes well with Improved Poisons. The last rare enchant we use is Serrated Blades, which causes us to ignore 9% of a target's armor, making us hit harder. And for the Artifact Mystic enchant, it's kind of up to you. I like Grappling Hook for the extra mobility, but I do also use Combat Readiness for the extra defensive. It's completely up to you. And if you need help finding any of these Mystic enchants for Combat Rogue or any other class or spec, go and check out Shadow Meld on YouTube, where you can find guides for every single one of these Mystic enchants, and his channel will be linked in the description down below. Next, we're going to talk about gear and weapons. And for weapons, we're going to run swords. The first one being the Sword of Zeal in our main hand with the Strider enchant in our instant poison. You can almost always find this sword on the auction house. This is BIS unless you have the Ascended Warblade of the Hikari. And for our offhand, we're going to run the Ogre Pocket Knife from Dire Maul North with the Ninja's Focus enchant, and this is where we put our deadly poison. And because it's one of the fastest swords, we can get more applications of our deadly poison, and it's important that it is a sword because of Hack and Slash, which allows us to get those extra hits for even more poison applications and damage. For gear, the first thing we're going to want to run is the Zolgarub Madcaps 3-piece, because the 3-piece gives us an extra 5% melee haste, which synergizes well with the Night Slayer Tier 1 3-piece, which we also want to run, which gives us another 5% melee haste. And we also want to run the 6-piece from the Night Slayer set, because it just gives us free damage on an 8-second internal CD. And free damage is always good. For trinkets, I have been going between 3. The Eternal Flame artifact from Molten Core, the Icon of Khan Marados, a World Forge item found in the entrance tunnel of Maradon, and the Fellforged Fragment, found in Ashenvale at Zoram Strand. If you want to know where to get those World Forge items exactly, check the description down below. There will be a link to my last combat guide, where I have all of the World Forged items that are good for Combat Rogue inside of it, so you can find these trinkets and other good off pieces to use while you're gearing. And now we're going to talk about the Combat Rogue rotation. The rotation is pretty simple. For your opener, you will hit 1 Sinister Strike into Slice and Dice, and then build to max combo points to hit Dispatch into Slice and Dice. Then you're going to Sinister Strike back up to max combo points. You're going to pop your Adrenaline Rush and Blade Flurry. Then Dispatch into Eviscerate. And then just build and spend, maintaining your Blade Flurry as much as possible, and maximizing your cooldown reduction for Adrenaline Rush and Blade Flurry. So you can use your Blade Flurry and Adrenaline Rush on cooldown. In most fights, as long as you have a high boss uptime, you can have 100% Blade Flurry uptime and close to 50% Adrenaline Rush uptime. And finally, thanks for watching. Let me know in the comments down below how many of you have been having a blast as Combat Rogue on Warcraft Reborn like me. Like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell to not miss any of my future Warcraft Reborn uploads, and come check out my Combat Rogue live streams at twitch.tv/D2gaming. Linked in the description down below.